Hi everyone, I'm Jonathan. I'm here with a Esri to Team Awareness Kit or Survey 123 to TAK workflow. In this workflow, two things will happen. First, Survey 123 data will be taken and sent as a cursor on target message to a TAK server and ultimately TAK clients. The second thing is we log COP messages from that same TAK server and send them to a feature layer in ArcGIS Online. The only data that will be pulled are unit and point messages. So if you drop an icon on your map and broadcast it, that will be picked up, or your unit's location will be picked up. Any other type of message, like a bloodhound or range and bearing, will not be detected by this integration. That will come in later versions. To simply describe how this breakdown works, we start with the survey. All of the entries made for that survey are automatically written to a feature layer, which is available in ArcGIS Online in a dashboard. What we do is we take a CSV copy of all those records and we parse it two ways. The first is by making a KML network link that we can import into applications like Google Earth Pro. The second is by making one COP message per entry that's then broadcasted over a TAK server to TAK clients. Then we will log those units and the messages that they send into a CSV file, which is then uploaded to your ArcGIS Online account. In order for this to work, we need three things. The first is an ArcGIS Online or ArcGIS Enterprise account. The second is a TAK server with a TCP port. And the third is a machine with SSH configured. SSH is not required. You can run this locally, but I prefer utilizing it. The first step is going to be to open up this Esri TAK group. Click Join this group. It will ask you again, join this group, and you will receive a notification at the bottom of your screen that says you are now a member of group Esri TAK. At this point, we can exit out of that tab. The second thing we will do is open link number 3, survey template. We will then find the survey titled Incident Data Collection by Jonathan.Podar. We will click the three dots in the bottom right-hand corner and click Save As. We will then be asked how we would like to name it. For our purposes, we will name it Incident Data Collection Demo. And then click Save As. It will automatically open your survey. We will then publish the survey. We do not want to modify the schema, as when you do, the Python files later in the workflow will not work because they are reliant on the actual names outlined in this schema. We will come over to the right and select Publish. This may take a few minutes. At this point, our survey has been published successfully. From here, we would like to access our content in our ArcGIS Online account. You can simply do that by logging in and selecting Content. You will then see multiple different feature layers. We would like to select our feature layer hosted and open that in a new tab. As you can see, we are in our incident data collection demo, feature layer hosted, and we can go over to settings, down to public data collection, and approve this layer to be shared with the public when editing is enabled. Click Save. Going back to content, we can then see public data collection is approved. Select the person icon and change the sharing permissions to everybody. Click Save. It will ask you to update. Simply click Update. And then you get the notification that Incident Data Collection Demo sharing has been updated. We can close these tabs. This workflow has been tested on Ubuntu 24.4, Rocky8, and Rocky9. I have not used this workflow on Ubuntu 20.4 or 22.4, although it would probably work. For the purposes of this demo, we will be utilizing a Rocky8 server. As you can see, we are running Rocky Linux version 8. We'll go split screen for this. We will select step number 1, copy it, bring it over to our terminal, and enter. At this point, it's installing Git. And then it has cloned the repo onto the machine. It will ask you if you would like to proceed. If so, press enter. Then it will install your dependencies. This may take a few minutes. At this point, the dependencies are installed, and it will install HTTP server. Now, we will go and find our survey. Select the sharing button in the top right-hand corner in this first link. We will now submit a few records. We'll add one in the center of Illinois. And at the bottom, Illinois. And then submit. Then we can press enter in our terminal when ready. Now we will move back over to our ArcGIS account, and we will find that feature layer hosted. We're going to open that up. Scroll all the way down to the URL section and select this button. It will copy it to your clipboard. Simply paste it into your terminal and press enter. This will verify that you have entered your feature layer link. If not, and you would like to change it, press N and then press enter. If it is correct, press Y and enter. Now it is writing the CSV download.py file and then launches that file to download the data. Here we see the data has been downloaded as a CSV file. The terminal will then ask us, does survey.csv have contents? In this case it does. We will select. If it doesn't, that means that there has been some issue with the feature layer link that you have submitted. It will then ask us if the service for CSV download is running. If it is, enter Y. It will then parse the data in survey.csv into COT messages. We can see there are two labeled survey123_1, survey123_2. Survey-cot.txt does have contents. We will enter Y. Its associated service is running. We will enter Y. This next portion is the KML. If this has contents, enter Y. And if its service is active and running, enter Y. Next, it will detect if Node.js is installed on your machine. If it is already installed, all this script will do is simply update it to the newest version. Then it will ask you, is Node-RED already installed? In this case, the answer is no, so we will select N, and it will install Node-RED. It will then launch Node-RED. Wait until we get this last message, info started flows, and then press Control-C. It will then ask if the Node-RED service is running. If so, select Y, press Y and enter. Now we will get the IP address of our machine and go to http:// your IP address :1880. We can go ahead and exit out of this. Then we'll go back to the GitHub repo, scroll up to the Node-RED flow. Open this in a new tab. Copy raw file, move back over into Node-RED, and select the three bars, the pancake menu, and then import. Paste the JSON and press import. Select flow 1. We'll maximize this. And there's two things that we need to do. First, we will select this TCP and put in 8089 as our port and our server address. We will upload our certificates, our cert and key file, and our associated password, and update it. Select done. Then we will come over to this other TCP node and input this data one more time. If you click on this again, you will notice that the key, cert, and the password are already here because we're using the same TLS configuration. If you would like to change the name of that configuration, in the name section down here, you can rename it. Update, click done, and click deploy. It may take a second to verify everything, but then you will notice that we are receiving hot messages from debug number 17. At this point, we'll go back to split screen and we will press enter. It will then ask you if you would like to continue with the second portion. At this point, if you just want to broadcast survey123 messages, then everything is done. You are completely good to go with that. If you would like to actually send the COT messages to the to ArcGIS Online, go ahead and select Y and enter. Press Y and enter. At this point, we're just installing Miniconda so that we have an environment that we can work inside. At this point, we have created a virtual environment named ArcGIS_env. We will go ahead and enter the command exit, and it will actually kill this shell. What's really important to note here is that we have to go back into it via SSH so that we can actually have the updated binaries and access the ArcGIS env. So we're going to go ahead and SSH back in. And we will actually copy this second command and paste it into our terminal. This command that's given to us right here is the same as step 2 inside of the GitHub repo. So if you have to completely kill your shell and you do not have this command, just go back to the repo and copy step number 2. Then we will enter. First, we will enter the link of the enterprise that you would like to use. In my case, because I am with Civil Air Patrol, our enterprise link is cap-gis.maps.arcgis.com. Yours may be different. If you have an ArcGIS online account, so that's not an enterprise account, simply utilize that link. We will enter it here. Then your username, and your password. Then we will name the feature layer. We will simply name this one ILWG, or Illinois Wing, sit pick, or situational picture. Then for our description, we will simply have NA. We will enter Y. Double check that this information is correct. If it is not, enter N, and you can put the information back in the way that you would like. It will then launch the ArcGIS ENV, and it will actually use your credentials to log in to make sure that the environment is active. If you try to run any of the Python files that use the ArcGIS packages, then outside of the ENV, then it will not work. That's why we have to activate the ENV before we log in. We're going to print test data to cat logged CSV. We'll go ahead and pull up our content on this side. And at this point, you actually see that we have a feature layer in a CSV named ILWG SitPick. We're going to go ahead and open up ILWG SitPick. And then the shell is telling us to press enter when you have your feature layer ID. The feature layer ID is simply everything that comes after ID equals in the URL of your new feature layer. So in this case, it's C5, AAF, etc. We will go into our shell, press enter, and then enter our feature layer. It is correct. And then if we get that parsed message, that means that we've pushed that data. .log CSV does have contents. So these are the actual assets, the instances of TAK that I have open actively. It does have contents. We will enter Y. And its service is enabled and running. So we will enter Y. We then add a cron job, and everything is good to go. At this point, we can go ahead and refresh our SitPick. Open in a map viewer. And we will see the old test data. At this point, right there, we actually saw the new data appear. So we took away the old test data, and we are left with 2 points. One is a Lenovo laptop that's running WinTAK Civ, and the other is a WebTAK instance running 4.10. So we can actually zoom in here on the laptop, the WinTAK instance, and if we pull this up, we actually see side by side, these are almost identical. Actually, they are identical. Then we'll go split screen. We'll select WebTAK. If we zoom in over here, on our web TAK instance. And over here on our ArcGIS Online instance. You can see clearly that the data is the same. Now, what if we wanted to move our data points? All we have to actually do is wait about 1 to 2 minutes and the data will be updated. We'll go ahead and refresh just to check. So it hasn't updated quite yet. We'll go ahead and wait till 9:24. Okay. It's 9:24, so it should have run. We'll zoom in. And boom, we see that it is updated right below the street, right below the street. And where we used to be, down here, we are updated to right above 146th. That's it. That's a full install for our Survey 123 or Team Awareness Kit Esri integration. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me.